I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And welcome to Alter Ego Comics TV, where we present our picks of the best comics each and every week. This time it's for the week of July 15th, 2015. Lots of cool stuff this week, but the one that rose to the top for me was Justice League number 42. This is the Dark Side War Part 2, written by Geoff Johns, artwork by Jason Fabok. Correct me on the pronunciation, Jason, if I'm saying that wrong, because I will tweet this out to you. As someone whose last name is mispronounced all of the time, I would appreciate pronouncing everyone's names correctly. Let's go back to the reason for the season. The reason we're here, Justice League number 42. Justice League has been consistently solid since the New 52 relaunch over 4 years ago, and I'm really enjoying the team of Johns and Fabok on this. And they've teased the Dark Side War pretty much since the first story arc. You know, the first story arc in Justice League involved the team forming to fight Darkseid. And there's just so much in this. You've got the New Gods, you've got Darkseid, you've got the Anti-Monitor, Darkseid's daughter, Darkseid's wife, ex-wife, I don't know. Someone who produced Darkseid's daughter with Darkseid, and I don't even want to think about that. And Metron is there, and there's just a lot happening, a lot of action, and that's what Fabok does really well. He is the inheritor to Jim Lee's style, for me. He seems to be a student of Jim Lee, and in my mind, that's some amazing comic book art. So one of the really cool things that happens in this issue, we've got kind of a lot of different away missions that are happening. You've got Superman and Lex Luthor, you've got Wonder Woman, Steve Trevor, and most of the Justice League in one situation, and then you've got Scott Free, aka Mr. Miracle, and Darkseid's wife, in another situation. Don't think like that. But they all kind of come together towards the end, and the coolest thing in this is that Batman basically gains the power of one of the New Gods and can see everything. And one of his key villain's identities is revealed to him, and he kind of stumbles and goes, "It can't be." So there's a big reveal in this, and I don't know.
Well, it's revealed to him. It's not revealed to us.
Well, it's revealed to him, and presumably it's going to be revealed to us unless Batman's mind is wiped at some point by Zatanna or anyone in the DC universe. But there's kind of a big reveal towards the end, at least to Batman, which hopefully will trickle down to us. And I don't know how closely Scott Snyder and Geoff Johns are collaborating on things or talking to each other, because it's kind of a pretty big deal for Batman. So, Justice League 42, all kinds of awesome. You should read it. And this fly is going to drive me nuts. There's like a little fruit fly flying around. There's no fruit here. No one here eats fruit.
First up for me this week, we've got Mercury Heat number 1 from Kieran Gillen and Omar Francia over at Avatar Publishing. And this is cyberpunk in space, police procedural, but Avatar style, so kicked up to 11, where people can kick people's heads off. So you've got Kieran Gillen writing kind of a different style of thing. Usually a lot of his work is kind of cerebral and in its own head and referential.
Unless he's writing for Avatar.
Unless he's writing for Avatar, and then it's just blood and sex. Which is fine. Sometimes you need that. But
not together, though.
No. Well, he talks about, there's an essay in the back where he talks about kind of his inspirations for the project, and he says things like Tank Girl and Judge Dredd, which are very clearly in there. But there's also a lot of cyberpunk running through it. Basically, you've got a colony or some sort of a moon-based thing, not moon, but they're on Mercury, and a freelance police agent who's trying to take a job to investigate a murder. And then it just gets awesome. It's very, the main character was pretty compelling. Yes, I'm trying to describe it without giving anything away. But you see that she's kind of had a rough time of it. She's obviously not making a lot of money. She's not excelling in her field. And we start to see reveals of why she does what she does. And it was very cool. It gave me kind of like a noir vibe, because the detective's always kind of down on his luck and downtrodden, but he's really good at something, and that's true here as well. So very cool sci-fi police procedural cyberpunk thing. So if you like Wicked and Divine, also by Kieran Gillen, or especially if you like his other Avatar work like Uber, you should check it out.
Next up for me is Book of Death #1 from Valiant. This is a 4-issue miniseries written by Robert Venditti with artwork by Robert Gill. I do want to first point out that the cover stock on this is amazing. It is thicker than any other cover stock from any other publisher on the stands today, and it is still only $3.99. So, we've talked about Valiant periodically over the years. We've had several of you ask why we don't talk more about Valiant. So now we're talking about Valiant again, because this is a great jumping on point. I haven't read most of the Valiant books in quite a while, but I felt I needed to check out Book of Death, and I'm glad that I did. It gives you everything you need to know in the intro pages. It tells you all about the characters, how they're connected to each other, what the situation is, and you're off and running. So it does what a great comic should do, and that's be able to function as an easy entry point for anybody. And give you all the information that you need. So basically, there's a team kind of like the Justice League, or maybe closer akin to the Suicide Squad, but they fight for the good guys. And one of their members has kind of gone rogue, and he's trying to protect the Golden Child, or someone very similar to the Golden Child. 10 points for you if you get the Eddie Murphy movie reference from the 1980s. And so we find out about the kid, kind of, sort of, the rogue member who's Gilad. I'm going to call him Gilad. What do you call him?
I don't pronounce it out loud. I say it in my head. Gilad.
Gilad, that guy.
I just pronounce Galahad and just take out some of the middle syllables.
Okay, I understand that. He's protecting this teenage geomancer who may or may not be bringing about the end of the Earth. And his superhero friends are off to stop him and try and persuade him to amend his misbegotten ways. Really good stuff. Who knows where this is going to go. One of the neat things about Valiant is, while it's an established universe, I feel like they have a little more leeway to play fast and loose with, well, this character could die, or this character could go away, and a new person may take on the mantle of, say, Bloodshot or whatever. Right. So if you are looking for something, and I use these terms all the time, new and fresh and different, this is for you. Book of Death is the way to go. One of the other great things about it is it has kind of rekindled the fire in me to want to go back and reread the Valiant stuff that I read when it initially came out with the relaunch. So there's a page at the back, for more on Valiant. You've got Exo Man of War Volume 1 and Unity Volume 1, which is also new this week. I want to go back and read that stuff. So thanks for the kick in the pants, all of you, telling me to read more Valiant, because they're really doing some awesome stuff, and you should check it out.
Next up for me, I've got AntMan Annual #1. Turns out there's a little movie coming out this week. It's probably already out by the time you see this. And so Marvel, of course, wants to have something with the title and a #1 on the stands. And lucky for us this time, it's actually good. This is written by the regular series writer Nick Spencer with double art duty. We've got a current period story and a flashback story. The current story is written by drawn by Ramon Rosanas, and the flashbacks are drawn by Brent Schoonover.
I'm sorry. Can you say double art duty one more time?
Yes. Double
art duty.
Double art duty.
I am 10 years old.
There's two people doing art duty. There's duty everywhere, and it's artful. So this is a team-up story between Scott Lang, the current Ant-Man, the Ant-Man from the movie, and Hank Pym, the old Ant-Man, original founding Avenger, who's played by Michael Douglas in the film. This is set firmly in the comic continuity. We see things that interact from the regular Ant-Man series, and it's really good. Hank Pym is a problem character. A lot of writers don't seem to know what to do with him. His personality has vacillated considerably over the years, and not only does Spencer do a great job of characterizing him and making him at once likable and still consistent with his past personality, but we also get some things mentioned in the flashback or in part of the narration that sort of explain partially or maybe imply why some of the changes in his personality have happened, or things like that with the evolution of the character. But the biggest thing is it's fun. It's a romp with two Ant-Man teaming up to solve some problems. There's a lot of great humor. The interaction between the two is priceless. And so if you saw the Ant-Man movie and like those characters, this annual will be a great checkout for you.
My final selection this week is the long-awaited and often rumored Hawkeye #22, the final issue by Matt Fraction and David Aja. Yeah. It's way late, but worth it. And I'm talking about it for two reasons. Number one, to let you know that it's here. Those of you that have been waiting or wondering, where the hell is the end of this Hawkeye run by Fraction and Aja, here it is. And the other cool thing about it is that their run on Hawkeye is awesome for all kinds of reasons. But I think that, when you collect all 22 issues, plus they did like a one-shot or an annual or something, I don't know. There might be more than 22 issues. But you get that in either single issues or a giant oversized collection or a couple soft covers, and it is just amazing. It's fun, it's different, it's like nothing that Marvel had done before, I believe. I mean, we said in the beginning, it felt more like an Image book or a creator-owned book than a Marvel book. And the ending, it feels like an ending. It feels like the ending that we deserved, the ending that the characters deserved, and especially the last couple pages. Did you check out the last couple pages? Where it's almost like the end credit sequence from a Marvel movie. It's just really good. I mean, these guys deserve huge accolades for what they've done, and they did. They won the Eisner, I think. I'm just making stuff up now because I don't have any.
They were definitely nominated a couple times. I don't know if they won or not.
But don't be confused too much. There is the all-new Hawkeye that Jeff Lemire is doing, which is also very good, which is on issue 3, I think. But this is Hawkeye 22, part of the previous series of Hawkeye. And you need to pick it up if you've been reading Fractions Hawkeye, and it is delicious.
Yeah, and I was especially impressed with how cinematic the book was.
Oh yeah.
Like I really want to see a Fraction Hawkeye movie.
I think I would rather see it as a Netflix series or something like the Daredevil series, where they can maybe spend a little more time with the characters.
Yeah, and it's not like it needs a budget. There's not any flashy powers going on.
I think. Not to be the glass half empty guy, but that is my name. Jeremy Renner is going to be associated with Hawkeye forever. And I don't think that he's necessarily the one to play this version of Hawkeye. I think they need to go in a different direction.
I mean, he's competent, but yeah, stylistically it's different.
Yeah, but Marvel, come on, get with the program. You get Kate Bishop in the Marvel universe there, the cinematic universe.
How old would you have to be for the Young Avengers to work out? Because Paul Rudd's daughter's really little in the trailer for the Ant-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I liked it a lot.
Very good book. My last pick this week is Giant Days number 5. I talked about the first issue of Giant Days when it came out. This is from Boom. Written by John Allison. Art by Alyssa Trillian. And I really enjoy it. It's very slice of life. It's people in college and just college life stuff. It's funny. It's poignant. I really like the art. I was initially kind of uneven on it, but it's really grown on me stylistically. I like the way she draws these characters and the things. I like that it's got it takes place in England, but most of the time that sort of falls to the background, and every once in a while something very British happens, which is awesome. And the characters are really compelling. If you like Ron Swanson on Parks and Rec, arguably the male lead in this book is great. It's very similar tonally to the way Ron handles himself, and it's just really solid indie comics. So,
just all kinds of great stuff. I'm kind of looking around the store and drifting off into space as I often do when Josh talks, but just looking at the stuff that we have on the stands. Whether it's superhero or Western or sci-fi, creator-owned, just so much awesome stuff to choose from in the world of comics. And this is, the week after San Diego Comic-Con, where it was this huge celebration of comics, but not really. It was more a celebration of film and television. But all of that stuff is inspired by the stuff in your local comic shop. So you should definitely head down there, or head down here today, and check out this awesome stuff. So
unless you're watching this on a Sunday.
Yes, we're closed on Sundays, so don't make the trip down here on a Sunday. I do have a question of the week for you, and my question is, are you reading Valiant comics? If you're not, why aren't you? And I'm curious to see the answers to those, and we may even share some of those with Valiant, because they often pick our brains. What can they do to help get people into their books? So now's your chance. Let your voice be heard. Are you reading Valiant? If you are, why do you read it? If you're not, why aren't you reading it? And there you have it. That's it for this week. We appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this week's episode, give it a little thumbs up. Click the thumbs up thing there on the YouTubes so that we get some more likes for it. We would appreciate it. See you next time.